So, earlier today, we did indeed see Loui Eriksson as a main talking point. He was on TSN 1040. The agent was talking about him, JP Barry, and it was interesting to note just what was mentioned, because Dollywall did say on the radio, you can see it on your screen right here, everybody on the chat talking about Loui Eriksson. Yeah, but they did mention on the program that JP Barry can find a suitor for Eriksson at $3 million. As we all know, Eriksson's making $6 million as an AAV. So if the Canucks are able to do a 50% retained, that appears to be what would be enough for a team to say yes. We talked about it a few videos ago that the Canucks apparently don't want to add a sweetener because for some reason they think that they can pull off a hockey trade. Good Branson for Pearson, one of those. Luke Shen for Delzato, one of those. We've seen a few other one-for-one trades over here by the Vancouver Canucks. I personally, BJ Ballin said in here in the chat, I personally would do Eriksson, $3 million salary retained, trading him to another team. But if we go over back and we check over onto the other tweet here, this is what was said on 1040. JP Barry has said he has talked to several teams about Eriksson. Most teams indicated that the only way they would look at it is if the salary cap number was also lower. So that's what JP Barry said, the agent, the guy whom Jim Benning gave permission to discuss to other NHL teams, hey, we got this guy in Vancouver, you might have heard of him, his name is Eriksson, you guys want him, here's why you should take him. Vancouver needs a favor because they need to re-sign Tanev, Toffoli, Markstrom, Virtanen, Gaudette, Stetcher, McEwen, Mott, all those guys. And $6 million off the books would be very good. But I just kind of take a look at this and I say, if Eriksson is in a position where teams would actually be willing to do it, they would be willing to do it if it's 50% retained, I do it. Like BJ Ballin said it in here, I would do it. Is the Loui contract worse right now? I don't know. Everybody's talking in the chat about Loui. But, yeah. If that indeed is the case, I do it. But if Jim Benning is not willing to do it because he doesn't want to retain salary, which that's my own speculation. I don't really know if that's the case here. We didn't really have any word on whether or not Benning doesn't want to retain salary. Then I kind of question the decision making there, because at the end of the day, when you move somebody like Eriksson, you will have to compromise something. You will. That's just it. Plain and simple. They came out earlier and they said that they didn't want to trade a first or a second round pick to move money. Okay, I respect that. We don't even have too many firsts or seconds anyway to begin with, so that's cool. But in the previous video where we talked about Eriksson and Tanev, if you look at what the message was in that one, we said that apparently, according to sources, the Canucks don't even want to add a sweetener. So it really just kind of shakes me at my core to say, what, you don't want to add picks, you don't want to add a sweetener. Now you have a scenario where if you retain 50% salary, you're gonna get it done. So what's the holdup? What's the holdup here? Sure, you're trying to gauge the market, you want to ask for more opinions, whatever. But, like, you have an opportunity to get it done here. The only way they do it is if the salary cap number is half. Or maybe even just lower. It says lower here on the tweet. So, I don't know. I think you're going to have to compromise something here if you trade Eriksson. BJ Ballin asks, if a team would do Loui at full salary to get Jake, would you do it? I would do it. I would do it 110%. I've spoken a ton about Jake Virtanen. We've had our conversations here about Jake Virtanen. Everybody's talking about Jake Virtanen in the chat from time to time. But to me, the Vancouver Canucks without Virtanen and Eriksson is a better team than the Canucks with Virtanen and with Eriksson, just because the money used can be used to sign other guys too and keep this team the way it is together. Plus, you get yourself more roster space on your lineups. You have opportunities to give to Bailey. You have opportunities for McEwen. You have opportunities for some of these guys that we've seen in Utica who have been legitimately good. And if you want Jake Virtanen, a guy who did almost get 20 goals, but who was not consistent whatsoever to be that guy in your bottom six, I'd much rather give it to Bailey, a guy who also has that speed, who has that agility, who has that power in his skating. and who also probably may even be argued to be having a better game sense. So I don't know. I really don't know. So this whole Eriksson thing, if you don't want to give up a sweetener, which is what has been reported in the past, the answer is right in front of you, man. The answer is right in front of you. Take a look at it, man. Barry said that Eriksson can move if it's a $3 million contract and not a $6 million contract. At the end of the day, you're saving $3 million in average annual value cap space. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's go back to the actual game, though. We'll end this video off here, and we'll get back to actually talking about stuff. Reading the chat and all that. This is a quick update on Eriksson. Thanks for watching, guys, if you're here on YouTube.